Saint Lucia has been battling the fourth wave of COVID-19, which began officially on July 25th, recording at its height daily triple-digit number of cases and an unprecedented death count. Now, according to the national epidemiologist Dr. Francois, Tuesday's guest on Out Goes In, the declining case numbers indicate that the worst of the wave is over. What's your assessment of the fourth wave? Where are we right now, as far as you see it?
We are heading towards a good place. We're not quite there yet. Our numbers have gone down, as you would have been noting during our releases. But we don't just look at the numbers, because you would note that there are certain points or certain days that the numbers are low. And of course, we have curfew, we have our lockdown days where persons cannot access testing sites. And so the numbers would have been smaller. And so we don't just rely on these individual numbers, but we try to do at least a 7-day rolling average to give us a better understanding. So we've done that, and the numbers were coming down. But we also looked at our case positivity rate. So we try as much as possible not to use just one indicator to measure what's happening, but we also look at our case positivity rate. And there was a point at which we noticed that the numbers were coming down, but the positivity rate was still high, indicating that there was still a good bit of transmission happening on the ground. So we were at our peak. I think we were at 35 thereabout percent. And it had gone down to 25, and it maintained that way for quite a period of time. We are now happily, I think we're at 15-16% positivity rate, and which is not the ideal place, but it shows that we are coming down.
Though trending favorably, the COVID-19 situation is far from being brought under control. Dr. Francois was questioned about complacency setting in as the numbers come down. What prompted the easing of the Sunday measures to allow Sunday service? Was it guided by the science?
Well, the science guides everything. Like I said, we did note the decrease in the numbers in the case positivity, and I believe that it was felt that we were heading towards that safe place. However, the emphasis was placed on persons adhering to the protocols. In all that we do, and we are at a point where COVID is going to be with us. And even when we make that decision to ease up on the measures, the protocols must remain in, and I'm talking about the basic that we've been saying from even before we reported our first case of COVID-19.
The national epidemiologist is wary of the dropping of the collective guard at the dawn of the Jounen Kweyol festivities and the not too far off Christmas celebrations.
We are at the end of October, and we know it's Jounen Kweyol, and we love our Creole food. And while we do not have mass gatherings, we are concerned that, of course, there may be gatherings in communities, and that may trigger something. We are also concerned about Christmas. We saw what happened last year. Persons coming in, families coming in, it's not Christmas if you don't do a house to house. And so our concern now is, now that we've come down, what may happen come January, February, as it did, last year into this year.
Dr. Francois considered that the high level of vaccine hesitancy, fueled by the constant flow of misinformation, particularly on social media, and the non-adherence to the COVID-19 protocols, continued to retard the efforts to get the cases under control. The challenge for decision makers is when and how do they relax the measures without jeopardizing the gains registered in controlling the COVID-19 cases. Saint Lucian for the HTS News Force.